All right, kids, you're probably watching this video after opening gifts. Well, not on Christmas. I actually wrote most of this before December 25th, and I'm recording it afterwards. Besides, most people who will watch this will do so in the new year, so not today. This is a bad way to start my last video of the year. Today, we're gonna talk about what it takes to get the stuff that we want. There's a trend that takes place every year around late November that's gotten kind of dangerous.
Hey, how you doing? Al here. Look, I'll make this really quick. I just want to thank you all for your amazing support. It's my understanding that I had over 80 million streams on Spotify this year. So if I'm doing the math right, that means I earned $12. So, enough to get myself a nice sandwich at a restaurant. So from the bottom of my heart, thanks for your support and thanks for the sandwich.
Spotify. We'll get to Black Friday in a minute. That was Weird Al Yankovic. He, along with Snoop and Megan Thee Stallion and others, have told us that Spotify underpays them because of their streaming model. We've known this for a while, but when Spotify Wrapped comes around, more than 30 million people now can't wait to post about how much of their data this digital music service is tracking. America has been doing this since 2015, and it's not only become influential, other companies are copying this, which I guess is good because I would much rather see how often y'all misspell words or the state of your mental health and the homes you look at on Zillow but can't afford. But it's become a tradition from a company with questionable business practices that we put up with. Probably because we think artists and entertainers are rich and don't need the extra money, but we wouldn't apply similar logic to ourselves as we spend our extra money, no matter what, as you'll see today. I mean, we're not helping. What are we gonna do? Buy albums or boycott? Not in this economy. We need deals, sales, and we'll do anything to get them. He just went to the bathroom. Black Friday 2023 seemed to be underwhelming. No fights like there used to be, not over toilet paper or nothing? Okay. We saw more of that at the beginning of the pandemic. Social media is filled with videos of clear parking lots, empty stores, and untouched merchandise from Black Friday 2023, along with discounts on stuff that isn't really discounted if you simply did the least amount of investigative work to lift up the sale sign and look under it. I should say, Target claims that the TVs here were actually on sale before Black Friday, but they continue to offer those items at the same discounted prices, changing the signs to make them Black Friday themed. However, this speaks to something bigger. Black Friday used to be a one-day thing, an event. Maybe the absence of people on the day after Thanksgiving is due to purchases being made towards the beginning of November in order to avoid getting trampled to death. Speaking of, seeing how I wouldn't do I had to walk to school uphill both ways in a blizzard thing to younger generations, couldn't even if I wanted to, climate change. I was gonna say that I fought a dude the size of Arnold Schwarzenegger for an action figure, but then I realized that this was the plot of Jingle All the Way, and even so, Arnold is like 5'10". I don't care what he says. So that wouldn't be very impressive. By the way, Sinbad is way bigger than him. Fisticuffs with him might be more of a challenge, but people don't know who he is anymore, climate change, so I haven't been able to trust him since that whole Mandela effect thing anyways, with his Genie movie. And despite Black Friday being so violent that someone decided to make a website devoted to counting the deaths and injuries that occur on that day each year, BlackFridayDeathCount.com proves that Black Friday was never really that violent. Kind of overblown. Like the Tide Pods thing. Gen Z wasn't really eating them, but they could have a lot more of them if grocery stores participated in Black Friday. I want those little Debbie Christmas tree cakes. With that said, physical retail store traffic was up 1.5% for Black Friday weekend. Categories that had the highest increases in traffic were health and beauty, jewelry, and apparel, according to data from Retail Next, along with discount department stores, dollar/variety stores, apparel, footwear, and accessory retailers, which makes sense. But then again, I've said before, dollar stores don't make so much money by saving you money. You get what you pay for. Anyways, electronic stores and health/beauty experienced a rise in shopping popularity this year, according to a post-Thanksgiving weekend survey. From November 1st through Christmas Eve, U.S. retail sales rose by 3.1%, according to MasterCard Spending Pulse, which measures sales in stores and online across all forms of payment. Quote, consumers spent and they spent on practical items, gift cards, food, clothing, and shoes, and less on electronics this year, per the managing director at the business consulting firm Strategic Resource Group. And, hey, good. When you have a TV that works at home, getting a $1,000 TV for $500 doesn't save you $500. You're spending $1,000. So yeah, consumers spent more on apparel and food, especially in restaurants, where spending was up by 7.8% over 2022, while sales of electronics and jewelry sagged slightly year over year. Spending is increasingly taking place online, where sales were up by more than 6% over 2022. So it wasn't that we spent less money on Black Friday 2023. Based on some of this data, we may have spent less time, walked into Best Buy or something, checked some stuff out without buying anything in person, and bought it online on Amazon in particular. But we got more time to tend to more important matters. More on this later. But it doesn't bother us that a Best Buy is operating like a casino. There's no clock. Time doesn't exist. A day is a week is a month. On Cyber Monday, still might be a one-day thing. We'll see. Buy now, pay later usage hit an all-time high with a staggering increase of 42.5% compared to last year. Quote, that's great given that there's a record amount of consumer debt and students have to start repaying his or her college loans, along with high prices for household necessities like mortgage and rent, food and insurance. With all of that being said, I'm a little disappointed in us. Right-wingers will boycott Bud Light for screwing over its consumer base when they gave beer to a trans person. They were even going to refuse to shop at Walmart after they pulled their advertising dollars from X and Elon Musk. But come on, how are they going to avoid the only grocery store in their town or county? I want to see them do it. And we can't even successfully put a dent in the revenue that McDonald's and Starbucks makes? Yeah, it may seem like Starbucks is closing stores around the world due to boycotts because of their support for Israel's ethnic cleansing of Palestinians, Gazans, and Arabs. But that may be based on stock market projections, something we might not never know about because, well, low wages are growing, but the decline in disposable income over 2021 to 2023 due to the phase out of COVID policies completely swamps that. And the typical American household must spend an additional $11,000 annually just to maintain the same standard of living they enjoyed in January of 2021 by some measures. What are we going to do with that money? Get a home loan? While black? Not from Navy Federal Credit Union. Before I continue, quick recap. What it takes to get the stuff we want is having to overcome low wages, inflation, and wait for what we hope are deals with the little bit of disposable income that we have, seeing how we're priced out of housing, to get something nice for ourselves and others. We deserve it, even if it isn't a necessity. And sometimes all we have is music that makes us feel better for a minute and distracts us from what's going on in the world. And we post about it in order to gain some kind of connection, which is lacking these days. You won't be connecting with me though, because y'all's raps just let me know how much Beyonce y'all aren't listening to. But neither the Queen or Taylor Swift, the biggest stars the previous 2 years, will say something about the Congo or Sudan. And they have the ability to change things. But being apolitical, whatever that means, might be how they got in these positions in the first place. Shout out to Lupe Fiasco. But I get it. Even though I don't have Spotify, I use Apple Music. Longtime viewers of this channel and people who know me personally know that I am Team Android. What? Now, we may be switching to YouTube Music soon, but it's not like any of these streaming service options are at all ethical. And just like the anti-Bud Light people found out about, but didn't really care, when you switch brands, you may still be buying from some parent company. What are we to do? And as much as I love a boycott and consider myself a protester, I shopped at both Walmart and Hobby Lobby this Christmas. So the last thing that you need right now is a YouTuber who wears Nike all the time, telling you what to do and not to do with your money and time, especially if I'm not going to give credit where credit is due. A lot of people in this country spent Black Friday on the ground, and this is nothing new to millions around the world for going on decades. The point is, we can't let organizations and corporations treat us like this, but protesting simply isn't enough. Yeah, we vote with our dollar, but We also can't rely on those we voted for on ballots to represent us. This is just one example. When the House passed Resolution 894, a Republican-led resolution condemning and denouncing the drastic rise in anti-Semitism in the United States and around the world that falsely equated anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism, these are the Democrats who voted against it. Not a lot, barely enough to incur an automatic minimum tip at a restaurant. But Congressperson Maxwell Frost, the first Gen Z representative, voted for it, despite knowing that what he was doing was wrong. Quote, "But I disagree with the statement in this resolution that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, and I do not believe that being critical of Israel's actions is inherently anti-Semitic." Of course. I've gone on too many rants and tangents. I'm rambling. I was going to talk about the origin of the term Black Friday. When it comes to gift giving, all we seem to care about is the present, literally and figuratively, those in our proximity. And I can't tell you what the value of $1 is, but what we spend our money on is costly. Life, love, and liberation are priceless. I hope you had a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all, enjoy your New Year. We're gonna be all right.